So I guess I'll start. So could you just tell me about your position and what your responsibilities are?
Well, I own my own company, personal training company. And so I specialize in contest prep and body transformation. And I mean, I've done a lot of, I've taken tons of courses like exercise clinical specialist and rehab and all that kind of stuff. But basically many years ago, I found my niche was contest prep. Because that's my passion and that's my love. And like I always say, if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. So literally like I work like 7 days a week, round the clock. I never stop. And it's because it's fun.
But you love it.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. So what is your mission? What is the mission of your organization?
To help as many people as I possibly can. And like one person might come to me, and I mean, everybody doesn't do shows, but a large portion of my clients do shows. And a lot of times what happens is they come to me and they say, I want to look like a competitor, but I don't actually want to compete. And then in the process of me helping them, they get such great results that they decide, I'm going to do it, right? And by helping that one person, it has this like gigantic ripple effect, because if I help one person, then that could change not only what that person is doing, but what their family's doing. Maybe it's their immediate family, maybe it's their friends, maybe they're posting on Facebook, and maybe there's just somebody in the gym that sees them transform before their eyes, and they're just like, oh my God, what are you doing? And it's just this whole, it's like, you just like help one person. It's amazing how many people that will change the lives of.
Awesome.
So to me, it's like, I have the greatest job in the planet.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess, as a leader of this company, what are some leadership qualities that you have and you think are important and essential for leadership?
Well, I think you got to walk the walk, right? Because to me, it's like I live and I teach by example. Like to me, bodybuilding is a lifestyle, and it's not like, and you'll see a lot of it with competitors. They might diet down for a show and they look amazing, and then they gain like 10, 20, 30 pounds in a week or a couple weeks, and then they're, that's the way they stay until they do another show. Like me, it doesn't matter if I'm doing a show or not doing a show. I'm eating, like, you can open my cooler like any freaking day of the week, and it's like you're always gonna
all your meals.
Right now, actually I ate 3 things of chicken, and what did I have? I had some quinoa, I had some, what was that, some kind of new grain I've never even tried before that I can't pronounce. And then it's like, I got some ham and black rice, I've got beef and broccoli with black rice, I've got apples, I had like barley and berries for breakfast with protein powder. So, it doesn't matter if I'm like competing or I'm not competing. Like I eat the same way every day, and I eat that way, not because I necessarily want to look a certain way, because it is like the healthy thing to do. Sure. Like I had one guy that actually trains here. I don't know if you know Willie. I had a big conversation with him the other day, and he was actually hospitalized for, what did he say, 3 weeks or something? Because of his diabetes, and he was admitting that he wasn't really taking care of himself, he wasn't eating correctly for his diabetes, and now basically how he's eating is like this, right? And that's the way everybody should eat. And I don't know if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram.
For sure, yeah.
Did you see that one that I posted the other day where there's a hamburger on one side and the apple on the other, there's a line in the middle? Right. And like right now the whole thing is that like eat your macros thing, and like a lot of times like a lot of personal trainers are kind of like enticing people and getting clients, because they're like, oh, if you train with me you can still look like this, but you can eat like candy and ice cream and mint cheese and hamburgers and fries. Well, to me it's not just about how you look, it's about how you feel. It's about health, right?
For sure.
Because it's not like I don't eat anything bad, because I do, but when I do, I usually don't feel very good. Like I feel sluggish, I feel tired, I feel lethargic, then all those other negative feelings start hitting you, like self-loathing, self-hatred, like, oh my God, why did I do that? And all that kind of stuff. But when you're on track and you're eating healthy and you feel healthy, you feel better about yourself, your self-esteem goes up, your self-worth, your self-confidence, right? And that transcends into every single aspect of your life. So your relationships with other people are better, you're happier, you're more productive in work, and it's just your life is better in general, period.
Definitely. No, I agree. I'm the same way. Like I always have my meals prepped and I eat them all throughout the day, and I think that it's good mentally too. Like it keeps your life in order. You know what I mean? Like
100%. And it's like this. It's like my son, when he was in kindergarten, he actually like the school called me, and they're just like, oh, we just want you to know that your son got caught stealing some juice boxes and cookies out of the lunch program. And I actually went nuts on that school, and I'm really bad because I love papers, so I usually don't throw papers away. And I found this piece of paper on the school letterhead that told parents that they don't want parents to send juice and sweets with kids to school. So my son's lunch was always like super healthy fruits and vegetables and milk and all that kind of stuff, right? And I said, you know what? I said, here's your letter. I said, first of all, don't be sending a letter to the parents telling them not to send this stuff to the school, and then you're gonna give it to the lunch program kids. I said, I'm not condoning what my son did. I said, but if you got a bowl of carrots and a bowl of candies and you put it in front of a kid, most of the time, the kid will go for the candy. Definitely. I said, you know, plus I'm a personal trainer, and I said, and my specialty is in nutrition, and it's like, if you're giving your kid like juice and candy and stuff like that because of the glycemic index, that's not even conducive to learning. You know, but if you're eating small meals often, balanced, healthy meals, then you're going to have more energy, you're going to be more alert, you're going to learn better, you're going to function better.
Totally.
You're just better, period.
For
right?
sure. No, yeah, definitely. So obviously as, you know, the owner of a company, you have to be great at communicating, right? So how important are good communication skills as a company owner, especially like this?
I mean, it's good, but I mean, the thing is, I think you have to be a good communicator, but I would say, you know, like myself, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. What I'm known for is telling the truth, and some people just can't handle the truth. But to me, in my world, it's either, you know, like, when it comes to contest prep, you can sit there and you can lie to me all you want, but I know the truth. And if you're getting on that stage and you're like going, oh, you need to cut the carbs, like I'll give you a perfect example. One time, oh my God, this is like back in like 1998 or something like that. I was training a bunch of people for a contest, this natural contest. And I worked with a lot of them because this was Fitness World in Surrey, right? And this one girl that I was training, I caught her because I walked past a juice bar. She didn't see me, but I saw her. She had a bar like this. She's fixing to eat this bar. Then I was upstairs and a lady, and she comes up there and she goes, oh, I think you need to cut my carbs. I'm just not leaning out. Right? And it's just like, I'm like, I saw you eating that bar. You know what I mean? And then I had this other girl, and like, she was just like not bucking up one time. And this is when I worked at Platinum. And I'm like, do you ever go like up to a mirror and go like this? I said, because when you get on stage, you're not hiding anything underneath those tights. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, there's all sorts of different methods of communication, but to me, it's like my method is like the truth, straight up.
For sure.
Because otherwise, I'm just not going to get people where they want to go.
No, I agree with that. And I think lots of coaches, I've never had a coach this far, but I've noticed that lots of them, you know, they totally blow smoke up their clients, right? You know what I mean? Like, and they'll tell them, you know, how great they are, but in reality, it's a sport where you always have to be working on like everything. There's never a perfect physique. You know what I mean?
And I mean, people like to sit there and bullshit you and think that they're special. Oh, you know, I'm special. I just can't lose weight. Yes, you can. You know what I mean? It's simple laws of nature. It's like if you burn more calories than you eat, you're gonna go down. Period. So, you know, people like to, you know, really bullshit you in this game, but
for sure.
You know, and then it's like when somebody comes to me, they're hiring me to do a job, right? And so I will go like up above and beyond pretty much any normal human in order to accomplish that, right? So, you know, sometimes you have to use different techniques. Like you have to kind of know your client, because some people you got to know, like, you know, some people just need a really good tongue lashing. Other people might need, you know, you have to like really delve into somebody's mind and their life and find out, because this is just a small part of getting somebody to the stage, because you have to follow a meal plan and you have to have a workout program and all that kind of stuff, but what else is going on in somebody's life is important to know, because if you can't help get them through that, then they're probably not going to be able to adhere to a program.
Definitely, for sure.
So yeah, there's a lot more to it than, and you need to have a lot of patience in this game too. And I mean, there's some people, like, I'm literally like, if I'm not in the gym with a client or here with a client, I'm on the computer, I'm on my phone, I'm texting them, I'm emailing them. And there's some clients that need like tons of support, and there's some that, this is what you got to do, off they go.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Definitely.
So it's learning different types of communication skills that are going to be able to be best suited to each person to get them still to that goal.
For sure. Awesome. So, like in this class, one of the major focuses is marketing, and social media, everything nowadays, marketing is so much bigger, right? And so, like, what kind of marketing do you do with your?
Well, I've always
effective?
been really good at that. It's a little bit different than it used to be, because back in the day when I really started at the Surrey fitness world, I had like a success storyboard. It's funny because I was talking about this with a client today. So it was a big board. Actually, she came to me because I started working at the Langley Fitness World in, oh my God, what year was that? I think it must have been like 2003 maybe. And she actually saw that success storyboard and my portfolio, which is somewhere up in the back room. So the success storyboard, I would change them out all the time. So I had stuff like this, right? So I'd have before and after pictures like this, and they have like Velcro on the back, and I would switch them out all the time, right? So it would always have like the person's name and like how much they lost and what they accomplished, and some would be competitors, some would be normal people. And then I also had which there's a lot on my website, I'd always get testimonials from them. Mm-hmm. So then people would walk by and they would see these people and what they accomplished, or they'd look through my portfolio and they'd see it before and after, and they'd read another person's, testimonial of not my words, but, and I would say to people, read that, because that is somebody else's experience. It's not me telling you what I can do. It's somebody else saying how I help them, right? So this girl that came in this morning, this girl right here, knew me from my success storyboard and my portfolio at the Langley Fitness World, and now it's 2015, and she's come to me now. So to me, it's like the marketing I did back then, when I was the only one in Fitness World that did it in the entire company, and then eventually when Steve Nash merged with Fitness World and the American company bought it, and that company made me take it down. And not only was that generating business for me, it was also generating business for other personal trainers within the company, and also generating sales for members. Because when I worked at the Surrey Fitness World, I had it up there, and then I actually moved to head office for a while. And so I only did personal training part-time, so I actually took my success storyboard down. Mm-hmm. One of the sales counselors there asked me if I would put it back up because he used it as a selling tool.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, Facebook is like huge for marketing, and like a website I think is like super important, and business cards and pamphlets. Like it was crazy, because I had pamphlets that I used to hand do myself, black and white ones from back in 1999, and it's like I didn't understand like how nobody else was copying me. I was like one of the top personal trainers in the entire company of over 13 clubs, and I was like the only one that was taking the time in order to do that, right? Same with like my Fit Body clothes, or I have my Fit Body license plate. We went to Costco one day, somebody's like, hey, what is that? What's that Fit Body? You know what I mean? So like just having that, like, it's something that like catches people's eye, or the beaver, like, people see the beaver in places, and they'll be like, what is that? Why is it a beaver? And then like Instagram is huge. Like I actually think Instagram is actually bigger than Facebook right now as a marketing tool. And I mean, I'm getting people from like all over, like not just Canada, but like States and Alberta. I've got some clients and stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely,
it's huge.
It's easier now to kind of reach out to even more, right?
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I always say that my clients are my best business cards, you know, because like once you actually get somebody results, and plus you are your best business card too, because when you're walking around in shape, people are just like, whoa, you know, like they know that, you know, that's what I always tell people that become personal trainers, especially ones that do a show. I always say, get lots of photo shoots, right? Because you can use those as marketing. You're always like changing your pictures and stuff like that, right?
Definitely.
They can see what you can do. Same with my clients. I'm always like taking pictures of my clients and putting their name, putting Team Fit Body, you know, and putting like either my hashtag or my Instagram or my website on there. And then as soon as you put that on your like Facebook, I mean Facebook's easier for that. When you put that on your Facebook, then you tag that person, then that goes to that person's page, and then all their friends will, you know, jump on it, right? And then here's all this new bunch of people that didn't know you before, and now you've got their before and after picture, and they're like, oh my God, you know.
That's funny because I actually found out about you from one of my friends, Renee Lemieux.
Oh yeah.
And it was because of that, exactly that. It was a posted picture that I guess you posted up, and then I saw that. So that was about last year.
Yeah, and you know what? And I have talked to so many people. You know, like people getting into personal training, or my friend Vicky Lee, who's a photographer, or my other friend Carlos Reb, and I'm just like, fuck. It takes like minutes every fucking day. And like I started because like even before Facebook or Instagram was around, what I would always do when I'd get a client, I'd get their email, and as soon as I get their email, when I got them as a new client, I put it on in this list. So it's actually in my email. So every day I find some kind of motivation, and I do an email. So I usually have some quotes, and then I have some kind of picture, and then I copy and paste my email list, and I send that out to my clients. So I have people on that email list that I haven't seen maybe for 10, 15, 20 years, right? And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to Hawaii, I wanna be in shape. Or, like, I mean, people that I haven't seen for many, many years, all of a sudden, they come back. Or they refer somebody else, right? But to me, it's like, every single day, that's like throwing out a freaking lifeline to somebody.
Definitely.
Going, I'm still, like this right here, this Wendy right here, that is my old boss from 1993.
That's crazy.
And I actually started just personal training her the last couple of months. But she's just like, you know what? You are like one of the most consistent people I've ever known in my life.
For sure.
Because I'm still doing the same thing, I'm still the same way, and I'm still like always there, you know? So it's like by first like sending that out to my clients every day, first thing in the morning. Some people like live for that email, you know, because it starts their day off right. Because I mean, another thing is like I'm a recovered drug addict. I cleaned up in 1996. And so I have these two big binders that I put together, and I call morning meditation and evening meditation. So basically what I was doing with those, I was read over some sayings, pictures, like different recovery stuff, right? So basically what I was doing, I was rewiring my brain, right? So that's exactly what I just continue to do. So sometimes like people think like I'm sending that email to target them. Like sometimes it is, I'm targeting them. Sometimes I'm targeting myself, right? But then a whole bunch of, and it's interesting because sometimes you'll send one out and you'll have all these people, oh my God, that really resonates with me. Oh, I really needed that today, right? So you never really know like what's gonna affect who, right? So then I actually had this coach. He was the editor-in-chief of Muscular Development magazine, Dave Colombo. Do you know him? Yeah. So he was my coach starting the end of 2008. And right after I hired him, he got fired from Muscular Development. So he started this online bodybuilding magazine called rxmuscle.com. Do you know it? Okay, so after he just started it, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you a thread on the forum. I'm like, what's a thread? Right? So he started me this thread up. So then I actually started putting, I'm like, first of all, what am I going to do with this, right? So my motivation that I put out every day to my clients, I started posting it on there, right? Well, that just like fucking blew up like crazy. There's like over 250,000 hits on that, right?
That's crazy.
And then, I found, or I don't remember how I got onto that one, but CanadianBodybuilding.com, there's like 225,000 hits on that one. Then I started one on muscular development, and that one's like actually, it was dead for a long time, but now that one's like blowing up, right? So again, just by using that, it's a way that you can put yourself out there. It's free. It's free fucking marketing for you, right? Sure. You put up motivation, maybe somebody will get on there because they need motivation. or they'll see your client before and after, or they might see something about you, your contest, you know, you did or whatever, right? But that's just they're just throwing it out, out there, right? And plus it's like a service too, right? It's like not only like you're not just doing it for your own self-serving purposes, right? You're trying to give something to somebody to help somebody, right? So if you're always doing it from a good heart, it's just kind of like you're getting something back, but not necessarily, that wasn't your original intention just to do it, just to bring yourself clients back. Totally. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, and then so then the same thing happened is when Facebook came along. You know, then when Facebook came along, it's I'll just put this on here.
Yeah.
And then, but it gets easier because like once you do it, like you can ask my husband, my kid. It's like every fucking morning. I tell you what, my route. I get up out of bed. I go to the bathroom. I go to the kitchen, get my coffee. Then I go to the computer, and then I do my PT of the day. Yeah. PT stands for me, is personal training.
Yeah.
PT of the day, right? And that's what I do. I start my email first, then it goes to the forums, then it goes to my website, then it goes to my Instagram, and that's what I do first thing in the morning every day.
For sure.
Because if I don't do that then when? You know what I mean? Then you get busy, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you just got to make sure that you allow yourself whatever 20, 30 minutes every day, and you do it. And if you're doing it every day, then all these different places know that every fucking day you're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So then that's going to create that consistency, and people get to know that you're a consistent person, right?
That's the key. So that's the key word in marketing.
Yeah.
Consistency, for sure. So I guess you kind of touched up on it a little bit already, but why did you choose the career in sports and physical activity?
Well, I've always been into like physical things my whole life, right? It's just kind of like who I am. Like when I grew up riding horses. I played soccer. I ran track. I ran cross country. You know, so I was always loved that. My mom was she's very health conscious as far as like, you know, like nutrition and stuff like that. And she was kind of always trying to get me to either be like either a PE teacher, a nutritionist, or a vet, right? Which is interesting because I was sort of all of those things, you know, and I still am because I became a horse trainer because I can't stand blood, so I couldn't be a vet. But, and then I went from training horses, which was my first career, to training humans because when I was in Texas training horses, that's when I met my first husband. My first husband is one of the greatest powerlifters that ever lived, and then he's the one that actually got me into the iron world. So what happened was I was training horses, I was running around with a girlfriend of mine in Texas, and I heard on the radio they're opening this new gym, and that ended up being my first husband's gym. And so he's the one, like I walked into that gym and they're just like, oh my God, you know, where have you been training? And I'm like, training horses? I haven't been lifting any weights. So, and then that's how I got into this world. And the one thing that I love about bodybuilding, and the reason that I fell in love with it, is like in the horse world, you have to have a lot of money, period. You don't have a lot of money, then you're not gonna make it, right? There's a lot of similarities between bodybuilding and horses because you're conditioning them, nutrition, training, showmanship, all those things are exactly parallel, except horses, you can lock them in a stall, you can only eat what you feed them, and you make them work as hard as you want to work them. People, you tell them what to do, they're up to their own devices. So there's pros and cons on each, but with bodybuilding, the reason that I personally fell in love with it is because bodybuilding, unlike anything else in this life, will give you back exactly what you give.
For sure.
How hard you diet, how hard you train, is what you become. Simple.
Definitely.
And nothing else that I found in life will be the same.
For sure.
You know?
I agree with that.
And especially nutrition. Like nutrition absolutely fascinates me because like I can show you all sorts of different pictures of me at all sorts of different stages in my life. When I was a lightweight bodybuilder, a middleweight bodybuilder, heavyweight bodybuilder, when I was a US national champion powerlifter, and the training never really changed. What changed is the nutrition, right?
For sure. Definitely.
So cool.
Oh yeah, it is. That's also part of this, what I do at school as well. I'm very into nutrition as well. So what advice would you give to students like myself preparing to get into this kind of field? What's the best advice?
Best advice. Well, you have to be passionate about helping people.
Yeah.
You really do. And, I think in a way that actually the guy that was in here last was one of my old customers from Muscle Mag from 1993.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen him in I don't even know how many years. Probably over 15 years, right?
Wow.
And anyway, now personal training is such a big business, and it wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, personal trainers were very few, and they were very knowledgeable, right? Now it's more about salesmanship, right? So, I mean, you have to be a good, decent salesperson because it's a shark tank out there. The market is absolutely flooded with personal trainers.
Definitely.
Flooded. Which it's really hard to even call some of them personal trainers because you watch them training people and you're just like, oh my God, right?
For sure.
And a lot of them are on their cell phone the whole time. It's like, if I was a client and I was paying that person whatever, 60, 80, $100+ an hour, and they're on their cell phone, I would walk off the floor. So, to me, it's like when I worked for Fitness World for 12 years, and to me, Fitness World is gone, it's dead, it's buried because it's not the company anymore. It's a completely different company. But their mission statement was the member is the center of our attention.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever forget that because it resonated with me as a person and who I am and the kind of trainer I am, because to me, it's all about service, right? The more you do it from a good heart in helping people, to me, that's what it should be about.
For sure.
It shouldn't be about anything else other than that.
Definitely. Awesome. So from the outside looking in, the typical person looks at a bodybuilder and they think, they never have any fun. All they do is eat and train. Maybe you could shed some light on the positive side of bodybuilding. How has it affected your life in an awesome way?
Well, it is in my life. And people look at it, especially people that are doing shows, and then their family and their friends, and sometimes even that person, they'll get this really bad attitude towards it. They're like, oh, I can't do anything. I can't hang out with my friends. I can't go anywhere. I got to be in the gym all the time. And it's it's about choice. You know what I mean? Nobody's forcing you to do this, right? You want to look a certain way, then you got to figure out what it takes in order to look like that, and then you either do it or you don't. Such a cool moment in my life was one time I was getting ready for a show, and my son was pretty small at the time, probably maybe about 8. And I picked him up from school, and I took him to this one Subway that we used to go to by his school, and it's a Subway inside of a Max. So I'm standing there and I'm ordering a sandwich, and he goes, can I have a treat? And I said, sure. So off he goes. So he comes back a few minutes later, and he's got this thing in his hand, and I look at him, and I'm like, and you have to get my favorite, don't you? And he's like, Mom, it's your choice to do a show. And I'm just like, holy crap, that is so true, right?
Yeah.
And so if you stop looking at it like you're depriving yourself, and you're looking at it like, this is what I need to do in order to achieve my goal. So you gotta kind of look, just like me, I used to say I hated cardio, I hate it, right? I still don't do it unless I have to, but when I'm getting ready for a show, I've changed my thinking around it because it's a means to an end. I wanna look a certain way, so this is what I have to do in order to look like that, right? So, once you actually incorporate it really into your lifestyle, rather than you're just doing it, for this show or that show, I think that's when, and you start realizing, and you're eating consciously, sometimes, it's not because I did have ice cream the other day, but I don't only have it a couple times a year, right? But sometimes I'll get it I used to get it in my buggy, and then I walk up and couple down aisles, and I start thinking about it, I can eat this ice cream, but how hard am I gonna have to work to get that off my ass, and do I really need it, and am I really close to, where I wanna be right now, and no, I think I'll put it back. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of again, when people are getting ready for a show, and then all these people are getting pissed off because they're not eating what they're eating or doing what they're doing, it's kind of everybody's got their thing, right? Mm-hmm. And it's maybe a husband or wife are together, and maybe the husband likes to fish and the wife doesn't like to fish. Well, off he goes fishing. Does he make his wife come along if she doesn't want to go? I know some guys do, some guys don't. Maybe she sews, right? Maybe he doesn't like to sew. Should she make him sew? No.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe she likes to go get his nail done, or her nails done. Should she drag her husband to the freaking nail salon with her? No. Everybody's got their thing. Whether it's like, some people like fancy clothes, some people like going out to dinner, some people like expensive trips, right?
Definitely.
Everybody has something. We have bodybuilding, right?
Totally. So this will be the last one. We'll wrap it up. So as a business owner, obviously things could be, pretty stressful. So what are some like stressors that you face every day?
Well, my friend Tom was in here a few minutes ago, and he was saying like his business is sort of like personal training, where it's like, and when you're working for yourself, it's like, if you're not working, you got no money coming in. So that is a bit stressful, but like I've done a lot of like spiritual growth over the years, and it's like I believe in what you focus on expands. So what you think about the most, you get more of, right? So if you dwell on, oh my god, like I'm slow right now, or this or that, then you tend to get more of that. So if you focus on abundance, then you'll tend to get more of that. So it can be stressful. It was a very, like, for many years I wanted to work for myself, but I guess I didn't have the balls to actually do it. I mean, I had a child and I was a single mom, and I left his dad when he was 18 months old. So I had a mortgage. I was the sole provider for me and my son, right? So it was very, I had a lot of stress on me because of that, right? So that's why I stayed in fitness world as long as I did. They actually did me a service by merging with that company, and before I was making 53% of the income. Then it changed to they were making 75. So that's kind of what pushed me out of the nest. So when I actually made that leap to work for myself, I actually was so much happier, which I started getting more clients because I was happier. And so it's that whole like focusing on abundance thing, right? So I think it's just having the confidence in yourself and your own abilities, and knowing and believing that if you are good at what you do, then the people will come and you'll be fine.
Sure. Awesome. Thanks so much for doing this for me.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate that. Do you have any more time? Or
I've got a couple minutes if you
Okay.
need anything.
So now that that's done, I did want to talk to you about, so I do compete junior bodybuilding.
Oh, yeah?
I did the Sandra Wickham last year.
Okay.
That was my first show. I didn't have a coach. So I am now looking, I really wanted, because this is like my last year kind of
How old are you?
gear up for, I'm 20.
Okay.
So this is my last year to kind of like really give it my all for juniors, and I want to be able to get as much experience in my belt as possible. So I want to do like 2 to 3 shows, and I'm really looking for a coach. So
Cool.
so
Okay, so I think what we should do, because